So yeah, looking from, judging my book by its cover, the edges look fantastic. Look at that. I could say, wow, look at me. I just did a fantastic job and put this on YouTube. But the truth is, you really want to see what's behind that cover. All right, this was all stuck down yesterday afternoon before we left. This side looks okay. And then you see there's bubbles on this edge, bubbles there. And then look, all this comes undone because it's not at its best in terms of wanting to stick down. The glue doesn't just activate it, it's not black and white. So look, you got to push this down, and you can see I'm pushing it down, and you can see that the material is now, apart from these couple of little spears, it all looks like it's pushed down. But wait, give it about 3 hours from now, that will all come undone. And if it does, then it needs more heat, because I haven't put heat on this, and that would be the first step, putting heat on that, stretching some of those spears out, hoping that it stays down. If it doesn't, then we need to trim it back a little bit, or put a couple of little cuts, just to be able to remove that extra bit of material away so it can stay down. This is thick, this is 10 mil, this material, so it's quite thick, and it means that it doesn't want to go around edges and corners like this, and spears are a problem. The thicker the material, the more issues you have with spears. Right, and then when we look down this side, we can see a lot of it has undone itself. And that's because moisture is coming out. It's the capillary action of the moisture wanting to move around. And it only takes a little bit of moisture for it to come undone when it's fresh. So we'll push this down again for the second time within the last 24 hours. And then if that doesn't stay down, then we add some more heat, or you could just use the heat straight away. But I prefer to do things more of a natural way before adding sort of external forces to help it along. My suggestion is from here is to put a 15 mil overlapping strip, which sort of goes from up there all the way down there, and that way that 15 mils overlapping strip becomes a sacrificial layer and the band-aid to protect this main section. Because that overlapping strip, you could always remove that, throw it in the bin, replace it, put it on. But if this comes undone and gets to the outside for whatever reason, or gets dirty and it's not able to stick down, and then you have to cut it. Then you have to cut it along here. Instead of the edge being here, the edge would be there, and therefore most likely to peel back up there. So putting a protective overlapping strip really, in my opinion, is a good way of over-engineering PPF, and that's what we're going to have to do to that. All this edge work along here will take me, once it's ready, meaning, when I say ready, meaning it's dried out and I've heated it up and it's ready to stay down and I'm not waiting for more moisture to come out, that is probably going to take me over, I would say, close to an hour, another hour just doing edges. So we've probably got about an hour and a half to 2 hours working on these parts and popping bubbles. Or if you want to reduce that time, is just to leave it and let the ambient temperature allow the moisture to dry out and let those bubbles form to a opaque white rather than a transparent bubble, which therefore means that it's more dried out and more likely to stick down once you've popped it. If not, you could just add more heat to it, but by forcing the bubbles down, you can cause distortion marks in the material that will never go away. So really, this bonnet that looks like it's almost done has a minimum of probably 2.5 hours of extra work to be put onto it. And it can't be done all straight away. We have to leave this sit here holding up our operation for at least another half a day before we can actually go back and work on that. So in that meantime, we're going to go and as an installer, you need to use your time wise. So in this point, you would then jump back onto the plotter and cut more material or other panels, or we would start applying the next couple panels and use that that extra 4 hours that we need to kill for this bonnet to be ready to work on. We're going to use that next 4 hours to put a couple more panels on, and then once we've done that, and then these panels need some waiting time, we're going to move back on to the bonnet. Okay.